Thanks for tuning in to the Women's Vibrancy Code, a podcast dedicated to helping women move from exhausted to energized, balance their hormones, and feeling turned on by their life, their lover, and themselves. I'm your host, Maraya Brown. I'm a Yale and Functional Medicine-trained women's health expert, midwife, mom, keynote speaker, and self-made entrepreneur. I'm the founder of my signature program, the Women's Vibrancy Code. So sit back, relax, and let's chat about your energy, hormones, libido, and embracing your feminine power. Oh, and you might want to have pen and paper to take some notes on some of these episodes. Welcome to the Women's Vibrancy Code podcast, where I'm committed to bringing you the tools, insights, and experts to help you thrive in your body, your energy, and your life. I'm Maraya Brown. Since January of 2022, I've released weekly episodes filled with powerful conversations and expert insights. I can't wait to continue this journey with you. And as we head towards 2025, it feels like the perfect time to revisit some of the most impactful, top listened to episodes from the past 2 years. From guest experts like Allison Armstrong, diving deep into relationships and core values, to Dr. Vincent Pedre sharing cutting-edge wisdom on gut health. These episodes are packed with the gold you've been asking for. We've covered everything from menstrual rhythms and hormonal balance to unpacking the big questions around passion, connection, and libido. And trust me, you don't want to miss the episode on DHEA, your brain on the pill. This podcast is for the visionary woman who's ready to feel spectacular, take full ownership of her health, and boldly reject the status quo. If you're tired of quick fixes and Band-Aid solutions, you're in the right place. So enjoy these powerful episodes as we wrap up 2024 and get ready for even more in 2025. Thank you for being here, and let's keep thriving together. Let's talk about adaptogens and adrenal health. If you're like, I don't know what either of those are, what I'm referring to is, are you feeling tired? Is your thyroid not functioning fully? Is your body not producing hormones? Are you not sleeping? Are you struggling with brain fog, lack of libido, any digestive challenges, rashes? Okay, a lot of this goes back to our foundational nervous system and our core sense of safety and how the adrenals are responding. And what happens is, over time, if we are exposed to stress upon stress upon stress upon stress, it's the adrenals that are responsible for that fight, flight, or freeze, and they're producing the hormonal cocktail so that we can respond. But if consciously or unconsciously, in our waking hours or our sleeping hours, we are consciously or unconsciously feeling like we have to run from a tiger, we become exhausted. And the adrenals get overtaxed. And then what happens is our immune system starts to crash and we're getting sick more often. We're diagnosed with autoimmune conditions, right? It really has an impact. We're not sleeping. We're putting on extra weight, particularly around the abdomen. We're feeling just drained and tired and we can't pick up and go. Often it's the afternoon crash or trying to get out of bed and you just simply cannot get up and move. For many women, it's the 1 to 4 a.m. wake up where your body's exhausted, but your mind is buzzing. Okay. In all of those scenarios, I'm thinking, what can we do to support your adrenals? And so for those of you in my space, you hear me talk about it often. If you're new into my space, welcome. I want you to start drinking Adaptogen Elixirs all day, every day. Just something as simple as incorporating Adaptogen Elixirs. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you the profound changes that I see in women, and they report to me after making that subtle change. So what are the main components to an adaptogen elixir? Number 1, you have the adaptogen. Number 2, you have a protein source. Number 3, you have a fat source. And then they're mixed together. You're going to add your hot water and nut milk of choice, and then sweetener to taste. Okay. And sometimes some extra herbs, some extra spices that are going to be helpful for your specific scenario. I'll say sometimes people do their adaptogens cold or in their smoothie in the blender. I was just driving from Denver back home to Oregon, and we stopped at a Whole Foods, I think it was. And there was a couple different pre-made adaptogen elixirs in the refrigerated section. One was ashwagandha, one was matcha, one was reishi. It was mixed with MCT oil. It was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been talking about. Now they're bottling it and they're selling it. And so you can also go buy those. My preference is when you make your adaptogen elixir, it does not include caffeine. Okay. Caffeine is going to excite the nervous system. It's going to deplete the nervous system. It's going to make it harder for your gut to absorb the nutrients that you're eating. And then it's going to further make it harder to sleep that night, right? And if you're tired, let's get to the foundational cause rather than putting the Band-Aid on. Now, some people are like, don't take away my coffee. I love my coffee. What you'll find is many of the adaptogen elixirs taste so yummy. I actually have one right here. You can't see me, but I have my adaptogen elixir right here with me. And it replaces like a hot latte. Okay. It's yummy. It's an enjoyable experience. And many of the women that come into my space, they resist letting go of caffeine. And then after a while, they go, oh my gosh, my anxiety's gone. I feel so much better. I can't believe I actually have more energy. I'm sleeping better. So take a breath and maybe give it a try. If you're a big caffeine drinker, the first 4 days are the hardest, especially day 3. Just stick with it. I'm sorry if you're going to end up with a caffeine withdrawal headache, but really, truly, it is worth it in the long run. And if you give yourself an occasional treat, maybe once a month to go out with a friend or on a date and have a little bit of caffeine, it's not the end of the world. If you are going to have caffeine, green tea is a great option because there are great antioxidants and benefits to green tea or matcha. And yerba mate is another one. It's actually a pretty big kick of caffeine, but it's also a source of minerals and B vitamins. So you can pick your caffeine, your least evil of the caffeines. Okay. So like I said, you're going to make your adaptogen elixir. First, you're going to get your adaptogen. Many people go, where do I even find that? So rasa and 4-sigmatic and mud water are 3 that are pretty common. You can find them most places nowadays. Rasa is going to be loose leaf, so you do have to steep it. And if I use the rasa tea, I'll steep it, make a big amount, keep it in the fridge, and then reuse it. And there's obviously a lot of flavors. The happy blend is more like a lemony, zesty kind of lemon balm flavor. The bold is very pungent. The regular has a real earthy kind of herbal taste. And then the rose cacao, which is their sex tonic. Oh my gosh, it's so rich and yummy and beautiful. And then with 4-sigmatic, they have one that's think that has lion's mane in it. Lion's mane for me has a very distinct smell that I have a hard time with, but I know a lot of people that love lion's mane, and that's going to be helpful for thinking and focus. So I'm going to go over different adaptogens and how they benefit you. But where I want to start is just the simple step. Okay. If you're like, I don't want to get into all the different specific adaptogens, I don't want to order them on Amazon and make my own tinctures. I just want to say you can just start with rasa, 4-sigmatic, mud water. I have some coupon codes. I'll put them in the show notes to give you a discount. We always love to save a little bit of money, at least for your first purchase. And have some fun. Okay. You want this once again to be an enjoyable experience. So you're going to have your adaptogen. You can also get adaptogens encapsulated. So I keep encapsulated cordyceps and lion's mane here because cordyceps is great for stamina and energy. And if I'm sitting here on calls 5-6 hours in a day, I'm hydrating, I'm taking breaks and doing walks. I'm making sure that I'm getting lots of greens in my body and my green powders. And if I'm feeling like I'm just not quite at the energy level that I'm accustomed to, I'll take an encapsulated cordyceps. For me, it does not impact my sleep. For some, it might. So you might not want to add cordyceps beyond 2 p.m. Lion's mane is another one that I have encapsulated to help with focus. If I'm multitasking a lot and managing team and women that are in my space and the marketing agency and all the things that I'm multitasking and doing, and I just really want to feel more sharp, lion's mane will be something that I'll add. Okay. But talking about adaptogen elixirs, you'll have the adaptogen. You can find adaptogen powders in grocery stores and Amazon, right? Then you have your protein source. For me, the protein source I use most often is powdered collagen. Some people say that collagen has to be liquid, and there's research supposedly saying it has to be larger, different molecular size in order to be absorbed. I don't buy it yet. I'm still open to continuing to explore, but I add my collagen powder into water, it becomes liquid. I've personally experienced pretty profound changes with hair, skin, and nails since adding collagen. And it's a lovely protein source. I definitely notice that my blood sugars feel more stable throughout the day. I don't have the roller coaster of energy and moods and getting hangry and cranky and all those things. And today's episode is brought to you by Maraya Brown and our very own The Women's Vibrancy Code for ambitious individuals who want to create impact, legacy, and vibrancy without burnout. If you want to feel more energized, get to the root cause of your brain fog, hormonal challenges, and lack of sleep while turning up your passion, check out the Women's Vibrancy Code. Link is in the description. And I also have a couple free giveaways. So grab my free Adaptogen Elixir recipes and menstrual tracker by visiting me over on Instagram at _Maraya Brown _. That's MARAYA Brown, and put an underscore before and after the name over on Instagram. Click on the link in my bio and you are welcome to grab both of those free resources. Drink the Adaptogen Elixirs each and every day. Track your cycle, not just your menses, for about 3 months or more, and watch how much more spectacular you feel when your body is better adapting to stress and you're honoring your dynamic, rhythmic nature. These two resources used to be exclusively for program participants, and now I am happy to say that I offer them as free downloads. So go over to Instagram, grab them. You're welcome to reach out to me at any point. Can't wait to hear how you're enjoying them, how you like the flavors, and what big takeaways you're experiencing by tracking not just your menses, but all of the dynamic things that change each and every month. With that, ta-ta for now. So your protein source. If you're vegan and you don't want to consume collagen, there are collagen boosters out there that are vegan, but I want to say out loud, they're not collagen. Okay. Collagen comes from animal bone. Okay. It generally is going to come from chicken or beef or fish bone. It's just not vegan. It's not vegetarian. If you are wanting plant-based sources, they are known to be collagen boosters. And I have not seen the same benefit. I know I follow some really well-respected experts that are big proponents of a vegan or vegetarian diet, and they say that they can get just as much collagen. I'm not there yet. So the collagen that I use, I get at Costco. It's the big blue lid Vital Proteins. I like it because it doesn't really have a taste to me. I don't really enjoy collagens that have a strong flavor or scent. So that's what I use. You could also use a protein powder. Ideally, a plant-based protein powder. I'm not a big fan of whey protein powders. I think they're highly inflammatory and hard to digest. So maybe you just want to use a plant-based protein powder that you're going to mix in. So you have your adaptogen, you have your protein source. The last piece is your fat source. The fat source that I use most often is either MCT oil or CBD oil. The CBD oil that I use is from Hemp Pure. I like it because it's resourced from organic hemp. It's tested to be THC free. And one of my best friends started the company and I love supporting her. And she gives me a really hefty coupon code for all of you. So I'll put that in the show notes as well. I like the peppermint flavor. So I just do a dropper full right there into my elixir. Or if I'm lazy and I don't want to emulsify it, I'll just put the CBD oil right underneath my tongue at the same time that I'm drinking the elixir. So now I'm adding in a healthy fat source, which is once again going to be a stable and long-lasting source of energy, blood sugar stabilization, right? If you use MCT oil, you can also use avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil. The one thing to keep in mind is think about oil and vinegar. When you mix them together, they separate, right? So when you're mixing your fat source into your elixir, if you don't enjoy the flavor or you don't like the oil kind of rising to the top and floating, sometimes I'll use a coffee press and I just push the coffee press down, which kind of mixes it, pour it in my cup and then drink. Or you can buy one of those little hand frothers. Just froth it, emulsify it, and now it's mixed in. So when I say the big coffee press, really, truly, I will make a big coffee press filled. I have my ember mug so that I set the temperature. And so it stays hot as I'm sitting when doing whatever I'm doing. I really don't enjoy my hot beverage when I get distracted and then I go back to drink it and it's not hot anymore. So I use my ember mug and I drink the entire pitcher. And then I will do a second pitcher, second half of the day. So I'm really encouraging you to make these adaptogen elixirs first thing in the morning, ideally within 30 to 60 minutes of waking. It can be your breakfast and then wait till you're hungry and then make your actual breakfast. Okay. So yes, you are hearing that I'm not a big fan of intermittent fasting into the morning. Yes, do your intermittent fast in the evening time. Okay. So finish dinner and your last caloric intake within 4 hours of going to bed. Now give your gut time to rest and digest. Give your body time to get really resilient with production of insulin, sleep through the night. Okay. You can do your 12-hour intermittent fast. But when you wake up in the morning, particularly for women under high stress and the adrenals being taxed, I really, really do encourage you to get your adaptogen elixir in within 30 to 60 minutes of waking and then drink it throughout the day. And you can add in different adaptogens based on flavor and throughout the day. Okay. Let me talk about some specific adaptogens and then I'll close this out. You're obviously welcome to ask questions. I'll also add some adaptogen elixir recipes into the show notes. Don't get confused. Don't get overwhelmed by the adaptogen elixirs. Okay. You can mix and match them. It's not a science. I'm not a super detail-oriented person just to know that anybody knows the disc profile. Listen, I'm a DI. I have no S, no C in me. Okay. You could do a pinch. You could do a teaspoon. Make it taste yummy. Just remember the fundamentals are your adaptogen, your protein source, your fat source, your hot water, your nut milk, and your sweetener to taste. I like stevia for my sweetener. Sometimes I'll use xylitol. I've used honey at times, but it can be a little bit too sweet for me. I also find for creamers, a lot of those non-dairy creamers out there are just too dang sweetened. And so I like nut pods. I also like the organic soy milk from Costco. So you'll find your version. Let's talk about some specific adaptogens as you're thinking about your specific scenario and when you're ready to cater your adaptogen elixir to more specifically what it is that your body's needing. So I already mentioned cordyceps. It's spelled with a C. So Cordy. It's cordyceps. It comes, all adaptogens come from the mushroom, botanical, and plant kingdom, just as a heads up. So cordyceps is great for stamina. Okay. It's going to give you stamina without the coffee buzz. It also assists the kidneys and the lungs. Ironically, women, you're going to be happy to hear this. Chocolate, dark chocolate is an adaptogen. Ideally, 70% dark chocolate or more is helpful for assisting the body with stress response. So isn't it fascinating that many women actually crave chocolate during our PMS and bleeding time? And I think it's the body, first of all, the body's craving specific minerals that come in chocolate, but also looking for some additional adrenal support. Ashwagandha is another one that many people hear of nowadays. You see it all over the place. It is an herb that really assists the thyroid, specifically if you have hypothyroidism, meaning a sluggish thyroid, if you're tired, putting on some extra weight, right? Constipated. It assists in adrenal function and also helps against brain oxidative stress and insulin resistance. And it also protects mitochondrial function. So ashwagandha has a lot of different roles. Fascinatingly, shatavari is another adaptogen that's great for kind of like sexual juiciness. And shatavari and ashwagandha are the masculine and feminine. They really balance one another. So shatavari is another one that you might enjoy adding in if you're just looking to feel your passion a bit more, bring on some juiciness, bring that alive. I mentioned green tea earlier. If you're going to have caffeine, my preference would be green tea or matcha. It actually, and it's counterintuitive, but it attenuates the response to stress and has actually been shown to help with sleep. Green tea is it's a great antioxidant. And so that's fun, especially in conjunction with L-theanine. I'm going to just mention a couple more and then I'll wrap this up. So rhodiola, Rhodiola, is another one that assists in adrenal function, right? Adaptogens help the body better adapt to stress. But rhodiola is one to be careful with because the dosing can be sensitive and counterintuitive. So lower doses stimulate and higher doses help create more calm. So rhodiola has been shown to help with depression, insomnia, and assisting in the stress response. It also has been shown to help with fatigue from stress and assist in cognitive function as well. And just keep in mind that kind of counterintuitive dosing. Chaga and Reishi are two that are known for immune support. So yes, they're nourishing the adrenals, but they're also going to help during cold and flu season. Adding in Chaga and Reishi is a great idea. If you feel you're immunocompromised, you feel like you're getting sick, you are sick, adding in Chaga and Reishi are great. And then the last one that I want to mention is Makuna, Mucuna. It's lovely to help dopamine increase. So dopamine is that hormone where we feel accomplished. When you check something off of the list that's finished and you feel so proud of yourself and like you kind of open your chest up, that comes from dopamine. Dopamine is the hormone that helps us feel motivated. So if you're feeling unmotivated, if you're feeling a lack of pleasure, finding Makuna, you can buy it in powdered form. You can buy it in tincture form. There's lots of ways to get these adaptogens in. Mix it into your adaptogen elixir. Drink it every day. I don't want you to expect quick fixes here, right? This isn't like you have a headache and you take ibuprofen and you feel better within 30 minutes, or you've got a bronchial infection and you go on antibiotics and you're feeling better within 48 hours. I'm not talking about quick fix. This is like foundational, day in, day out. Watch your body better adapt to stress and start feeling better. Okay. And then over time, your immune system feels more balanced. Your digestion becomes more solid. And now the gassy and bloatedness goes away and you start absorbing the nutrients better from the food that you're eating. And then your body starts producing those hormones that you've been longing for. And now you're ovulating and you're getting pregnant if you want, or your experience of menopause isn't so crappy. And PMS is gone, like all the stuff that we're wanting. Our thyroid is functioning better, but all of this takes time. So I really want to encourage you, grab the adaptogen elixir recipes from the link down below, try out different adaptogens, go get yourself a collagen powder if that will work for you. Otherwise, a plant-based protein powder. Find a fat source that works for you, MCT oil, maybe some CBD oil to start, and start making your adaptogen elixirs. Okay. Get a mug that makes you feel really happy. Sit down, give yourself 5 to 10 minutes of quiet. If you have a 5-minute journal, fill out that 5-minute gratitude journal and watch what happens to really start shifting your foundational well-being. So cheers to your experience of your vibrant life. Cheers to your experience of your passionate life. I'll tell you once again, no permission needed. You are absolutely deserving of feeling spectacular. And I hope this has been helpful. Cheers to your adrenal well-being and your body's ability to feel calm and safe and better adapt to stress so that we can all live long-lasting lives.